Hey, welcome to Functional Conditioning Yoga with me, Ricky Stewart. Exciting. Let's do some good mobility. Let's get strong. Remember, flexibility is cool and you might need to chase it a little bit, but control and strength and knowledge of your articulation just wins. There's much more to gain from understanding how you can move your body really deliberately, so that when you do things without having to think, which is quite often, you don't have to think about going to grab something, you don't have to think about how you're going to sit down on the sofa or stand up, but you've got loads of options. And if something changes, something happens weird, you've already been there and your body has knowledge of how to make that stuff work nice. It's exciting for me. That's how I like it. That is it. So let's just get started, shall we? I'm good to go. You're good to go. I play around quite often with my starting position because whenever I do yoga, I always start with a really quick little breathing exercise, and it's just normal breathing. I love doing ujjayi breath and all of the other really cool, exciting, different yoga breathing exercises because they make me feel nice. But I like to practice what I use, and I use this. Breathe for the task at hand. So let's do that. Just sit right on the very edge of your sofa so you're almost slipping off, so that you have control over where you go and you're not reclining and letting the sofa kind of dictate to you how you should sit. You're holding yourself up. You might even have to push through the floor a little bit with your feet just to keep yourself sturdy. And I quite like that. And then bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and then just slowly soften them down and feel that path of letting your shoulders just hang. Then expand and draw in to breathe. Try not to pull the air in through your nostrils, so you're not like actively trying to fill the lungs and actively trying pushing it out. I just want you to focus just on this expansion and drawing in of all of this breathing apparatus here. Relax your jaw and slow this right down, like slow motion breathing. That's it. See if you can feel every little change. Do this differently. So I normally do a side bend. Let's see if you can come into extension. So it means you try and flip your rib cage up and try and lengthen this sternum to belly button. So this bit here is going to be really long. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and breathe here. So you're trying to lift your coccyx away from the sofa or your chair. Tuck your chin a little bit. Maybe do a little double chin, so pull your chin back. Then I want you to do the opposite and kind of hang back. So your fingertips go over the top of your knees, and your shoulder blades spread, and you imagine your sternum getting pushed back, and you try and pull your head forwards, and your coccyx kind of sits back down towards the floor. That's it. So get that you've been in cat pose, cow pose. You're just upright. Let's go for this, the classic cat-cow way. So with your hands down underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips, so your knees are apart a little bit. Push your chest higher, tuck your chin, and then pull rib cage up. And just breathe here for a second, and then come back down anyhow. I don't mind how you get here, but just see where your shoulder blades go, whether they squeeze together or push apart, then push them apart. And try and get into extension. So you're trying to bring your coccyx up away from your bum. Push your chest higher, lift your head, and breathe here. Try not to grip your jaw, try not to clench your teeth. And then tuck your chin, and wrap down, and pull yourself into cat pose, and then start from the coccyx, moving one vertebra at a time. That's the most important thing, is that you can find really individual vertebra doing vertebra stuff. Keep breathing, keep moving slow. And then let's see if we can change something within this. What about if you do a side bend and then do another side bend and then do a side bend, and see if you can do this without moving your shoulders. So you're getting hips to rib cage, hips to rib cage. Then hold yourself in one side bend. Push your chest up, tuck your chin, and start from lumbar spine. Coming up, I'm going to hold this side bend as you do cat-cow, and you might lose a little bit of the specific individual vertebra movement, but it's cool because you're just learning. Then come across to the other side and start again. And even your neck might be involved in this as well. Cool. And then just back to doing normal cat-cow, just to check back in. And you're literally just checking in with this. This is our last one. Perfect. Then if you come up into standing, let's start with balance. I'm not trained balance in a little while in this class anyway. So if I just plant my right foot, I just pick this left foot up. Now, you all understand the mechanics of balance. You are a game of Jenga, you're a building. If everything's all stacked up on top of each other, it's very easy to keep you upright. As soon as you take something out to the side, the balance gets harder and harder. The further you get away from the balance point, the harder it is to keep that balance. The stronger you can make the structure from the floor up, the more likely you are to be able to keep that balance. So, let's think about our footprint. If your big toe, the ball of your foot and the outside edge of your foot are pushing down with your heel, you've made this tripod. So it goes from heel, ball of foot, outside of your foot, and every toe can be helpful and active. And then just see if you can do a little bounce like this. And doing this bounce makes you heavier. Every time you push down, you make your structure heavier. So that means it's much more likely that you can keep this weight pushing down because you're pushing weight into the balance point, but you can feel your ankles start to get tired as you do this little bounce. And then if you just start swinging this knee and this foot, breathe normally, notice that as my right foot swings forwards, my left hand swings forwards. As it goes back, you go back, because the top half of our body does the opposite rotation to the bottom half. And then let's see if you can pick this up. Let's go knee up and knee up. So you're kind of going elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee, and see if you can make yourself feel a little bit lighter. But as you go down, you make yourself heavier. So as you stamp your foot down to push back, you make yourself heavier. And if you can, and you've made this look bulletproof. I can see myself. I look like there's no chance of me really falling over here or having to touch the floor. And I practice things like this a lot and teach it a lot, so I've got kind of good at it. Don't feel bad if you have to pause after every swing. If you can just get better and see how I'm starting to push my weight down, even if I push both hands down. So if I just pause here, look, I'm pushing down to make myself heavier. As I pass this bit here, everything's down, everything comes up. Everything's down, everything comes up. Cool. That's exhausting on this structure. Let's see if we can get that on this side. So think about your footprint. Big toe, outside of your foot, heel. The whole structure is strong. Just do a nice gentle little bounce and think about making that structure heavier and stronger every time you push down. Try not to let your instep collapse. If your instep collapses, goes into internal rotation in this hip and it'll throw you out a little bit. Not that internal rotation is bad, it's just harder to balance, I think, if you don't have this little bridge of an instep. And then, let's see if we can get this, swinging, and easy breathing. You're not making yourself heavy just now, it's just forwards and backwards and getting the timing of this, getting the top half of your body to be in time with the bottom half of your body for locomotion, because this is how you run, this is how you walk. This is important, this is the way that we move around the world. And then start making this a bit heavier, so knee up, come on, balance. There we go, I brought it back. See how my head is over the top of the balance point? That helps. Almost lost it a bit there. Make yourself heavier. As you stamp this foot down, you make yourself heavier. I almost did a little lift there. It makes me want to lift. It makes at the top bit here, it makes me feel light, like I could jump really high, because I've got the rebound, the elasticity of pushing my weight down. And that is how we can get really good at locomotion. Okay. Very quickly, let's go through some shoulder cars. We'll do 2 arms at the same time. So if you show me your palms like this, and then pull those palms back, and try and push your little fingers towards each other. On the way up, we're going to go like this. Try and get external rotation of your shoulders. So you try and turn your thumbs back as much as you can. You should be able to feel a little stretch across your chest here. Then pick it up, still pulling your thumbs back. And then your palms meet as you go arms overhead. And then turn your palms away from each other and reach back with your thumbs down. So now we're going internal rotation as you pass all of this rear end range, and then knuckles try and touch each other. Turn your palms over and we start again this way. And turn your palms down this way. And even though I'm giving the external cue of turn your palms, it's really from the shoulders. I want you to feel this rotation. Breathe a little bit. Couple more. Last one. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, so last week we worked a little bit on like lunge shapes and things like that, so let's do that again, but let's get into this a slightly different way. Make sure you've got space to be able to step back, because you're going to step back. I want you to balance on your right foot, lift your left knee as high as you can, and feel this hip flexor. Feel this hip flexor more. If you push your hand down into your knee, feel this hip flexor bite on, pick it up higher and see if you can hold it. And see if you can put weight into it and own this end range. Look, this is my actual end range. I can't get this any higher. I can take my hand away and own it. Push down. That's good. And then I want you to reach this foot back. Keep your balance. Remember that outside of your foot, big toe, ball of foot. Reach this heel up as high as you can. See if you can find hamstring stretch. If you're close to a sofa or something, you can cheat. You can hold on to that. And maybe you can get this straight line from head to back foot. Oh, come on, balance. Even cheating, I nearly fell over. And then reach back with this foot, reach back, and then maybe reach back with your fingertips. Cool. And then float this foot down, and the ball of your foot is down. I would tap your feet around until you find a bit of balance. Try not to be on a tightrope like this, where your feet are in a straight line, you'll wobble. If you bring yourself wider, you're much more likely to be able to keep this balance. See if you can get both feet to take your weight. And think about this bum muscle here. Can you squeeze this bum muscle and maybe feel a little stretch here? How low can you get, keeping this back leg reasonably straight? And then think about your spine, your torso. If you reach hands forwards, tense the muscles here, lift your thumbs, and slowly peel back until you can stretch this stuff here on the front of your t-shirt, front of your belly, and then reach longer, see if you can tense the bum muscle. That's it. Then swivel this back foot so it goes sideways. Then reach this right hand down the inside of your calf. And then push your knee into your elbow and your elbow into your knee. Fingertips on the floor. And try and push your hips towards me. And pull this hand back. And try and lengthen your neck. Breathe. That's it. And then bring your hands down. You can either frame your foot, so if you bring hands either side of your foot, make sure those toes are pointing towards your heel on this back foot. And then just see if you can drop this back knee and see if you can tense the bum muscle again. And then pick yourself up and do this back bend again. And see if you can get lengthening from this right hand diagonally across to this left knee. And pull back. Thumbs reach back. Perfect. Bring your hand down and then walk yourself around into wide leg forward fold and stretch hamstrings. So normally I'll get you to work out what's going on with your spine. Today let's keep it nice and simple and just breathe really well as you look for a little stretch down the back of your legs. Keep reaching down. How hard can you push your hands into the floor here? So can you, if your wrists don't like it, you can go fingertips and just push down with your fingertips. If you can, maybe get palms down. See how hard you can push your hands into the floor. Maybe with straight elbows, maybe with bent elbows, work out what you can do to make your hands feel heavy on the floor. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1, and then just soften and stretch. Cool. Then pull your head forwards, drive hips forwards, reach your arms up, tense those bum muscles and hold this shape here for me for a second. I want you to feel like you can squeeze your bum cheeks together and make your torso longer and pull your thumbs back to find this shoulder end range. Reach your arms down. Let's heel toe ourselves back to the start again. So if I face this way for this one. So you're going to go for right foot back. So lift this knee up first. Feel this hip flexor. See if you can own this hip flexor's strength. Put your hand on top of your knee. Push down. Feel this hip flexor. Bite on. Should feel strong. Then pick this knee up higher. So you can find this hip flexor's end range. Come on. And take your hand away and own it. See if you can still make this a bit heavier. Put your hand on top of your knee. Feel that hip flexor. Very good. Reach this foot back. Straighten it out. And as you lift your heel, you drop your head. Straight line from foot to head until you find this hamstring stretch on this standing leg. Remember, you can cheat for balance if you need to. Hold this here. Then drop this foot down gently. Tap your feet around until you find a little bit of balance. Keep this back leg reasonably straight. Weight through both of your feet. Heel up on this back foot. So your ball of your foot is taking your weight on this back leg. And then bend this front knee until you find this little stretch here. Just live in it for a second. See if you can tense this bum muscle. So this bum muscle is part of the action that pulls this leg back. Because you can just let go and just let the stretch just happen, which is cool, and it stretches all this stuff here, which can feel kind of nice. There's no control there. Control always wins. If I can make this bum muscle squeeze on so there's some kind of feedback into the contracting side of the body, then I've got connection. I can call on this strength to use this stuff. Okay, let's see if we can lengthen this out. So if you reach your hands forwards first, see if you can make a bit of tension in the muscles in the belly. Pull your thumbs back, reach back. Keep that squeeze on in the bum cheeks. Keep reaching. In 3, 2, 1. Reach those arms down. Bring them down towards the floor. You can either frame the foot or have your hands either side this way. Drop this back knee. Squeeze that bum cheek on until you can feel this little stretch here. So maybe this knee comes a bit further forwards. And pick yourself up. And see if you can get a stretch from left hand to right knee. Breathe here, pulling those thumbs back. See if you can squeeze the bum cheek on. Reach those arms down. Fingertips to the floor. Pick yourself up and come around. And you're back into this forward fold. That's it. And stretch. So your head is just dropping down towards the floor. This time let's change it. If you walk your hands through your legs, Now, I've got the sofa behind me. I could hold on to this sofa and pull up on the sofa like I'm trying to lift it to pull my head down. That feels kind of nice. If you don't have that, if you've not got a piece of furniture behind you, you just push your fingertips down and try and pull the floor towards your heels, and that'll pull you down. I'm going to use the sofa. I'm going to pull on it, try and get my head a bit close to the floor and feel that stretch on hamstrings. Then I'm going to try and squeeze my bum cheeks together here, which is kind of hard to find, but I can just get a little connection. Keep breathing. I want you to bring your hands down again. So fingertips if your wrists don't like it, but flat palms if you can deal. I want you to make your hands as heavy as you possibly can. And imagine like you could, I can't really, but lift your feet. Oh, I can kind of do it. If you could do that enough to make your feet feel light, then that is the one we're after. So let's try. Push those hands down. See if you can make those feet feel light. Three, two, one. That's exhausting. Then pull your head forwards. Drive hips through. Tense the bum muscles here. Squeeze your bum cheeks together and feel your femurs, these leg bones, trying to swivel out. So you're trying to pull the toes away from each other, but they're glued to the floor. Pull heels towards each other, but they're glued to the floor. Keep these bum muscles on. Reach your arms up again and find this shoulder end range. And make this like a bungee rope trying to pull you back. Because if you go arms back like this, it becomes a back bend. I'm not after a back bend, I'm after you just holding yourself up and feeling like your arms are pulling against the muscles in your belly. Be able to breathe just a little bit. Bring your arms down. This is a hard one today, making it kind of tough, but you're good for it. See if you can bend one knee and stay upright and look for this little stretch in your groin. This knee on the bent leg, play around with it for a second. Just swivel it around and see if you can get it away from the other knee. That's what I'm after. And then see how low you can drop. I've got to come forwards, I'm sitting on the sofa. See how low you can get with your torso upright and this knee far out. And then see if you can bend the other knee. Bring yourself across, nice and low. Look for this stretch here. Bring yourself across. Bring yourself across. Bring yourself across. And come up. Last little hamstring stretch here. That's it. Okay. Let's get into some hip stretches. So if you come down onto the floor and lie down on your back this time, I want you to put your left foot down and put your right ankle on your thigh like this. So you should be able to push this knee around. So if you push it away, you should be able to feel it outside of your hip. Before we get into this stretch, I want you to grab hold of your pelvis and move it around until you think that your spine is neutral. So if you grab hold of it, if your right leg's on your ankle, if you move your hips to the left, you'll lose the stretch, but you'll crunch up here. Not do that. So if you move your hips to the right, you try and get both bum cheeks the same distance away from the floor, that should feel better. Okay, people get a bit confused with this. If you take your right hand, put it under your calf, and then slide through, pick up this foot and grab hold of your knee, and then this left hand can either grab hold of the knee also, or it can grab hold of your ankle and heel and pull this shin in towards you and just hang out and soften and breathe, and hopefully you get a stretch down the outside of your right hip. You can explore this. It's like I always say, there's never one position. If you land in a position in a stretch, the chances of you hitting everything just right so that you can get the best learning from your muscles, from tendons, from ligaments, from connective tissue, from joints, it just doesn't happen like that. There's got to be some exploration until you feel the learning. When you feel it, it's true, it's real, you've done it. So let's hang out with the most amount of learning you can find for this hip. Okay. Let's go one more breath. Just breathe nice and naturally. Now I want you to drive your ankle into your knee. You're keeping hold of your knee and you're trying to load up the stretching tissue. So you're pushing against each other. So this right leg's pushing towards the knee's pushing towards your face, and you should be able to feel the stretching tissue load up so you can find more stretch against this load. Keep holding, then get hold of your knee and your ankle and stretch this leg out. So you've still got this leg where you've put it. Then see if you can take your hands away and own this external rotation. So this heel is pulling towards your face, this knee is pushing away from your face. You're trying to turn this, and maybe grab hold of it and show yourself it again. Try and let go and own it. And then swing this heel out into internal rotation. This knee stays over the top of the hip socket, so this thigh is upright. And swing it in and out, in and out. So it's external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation. And squeeze up to these ends. That's it. Drop this foot down and put your ankle on top of the thigh here. Just play around with this first before we get into it, before we even stretch. Just feel how the outside of this hip works. I feel like I should have done it this way around, see, because you could maybe see a bit more what's going on in this leg this way. Okay, and then pick up this foot that's on the floor, take your left hand and slide it under your calf and grab hold of your knee. Sorry, I should have said on the other leg as well. If you can't quite reach your knee, under the hamstring works as well. So you grab hold like underneath your leg here, that's cool too. And just hold it in this passive stretch, and remember this little bit of exploration to find stretch for the outside of this hip that really works. And breathe, shoulders down away from ears. If this is the end of the world for you, if it really hurts or you can't even quite grab hold of stuff, but this is a big stretch, this position's legit, it's fine. This is it. If you feel the learning, you're winning, you're doing it. That's what we're after, learning, we're after adaptation, we're after your body working out how to do all of these shapes really well. Keep holding, shoulders down away from ears. Okay. A little bit longer. Work out that breathing, really try and feel it. Let's see if we can get this now. Start pushing your ankle into your knee into your ankle. Fight them against each other. Hold this knee in as tight as you can, and this ankle is pushing back against it. Keep holding. 3, 2, 1. Keep hold of this ankle. Stretch this leg out. So you've got this leg exactly where you've left it. Then see if you can let go and own this. Keep trying to own it from the hip flexor. You're trying to push this knee away from your face. Try to pull heel towards your face. You can show yourself this external rotation stretch. Keep living it. 3, 2, 1. And then swing out into internal rotation to external rotation. Try and keep this thigh upright. If I just put my finger here, just on my knee, I'm not really influencing it. I'm just trying to feel internal and external rotation of this thigh, this axial rotation. That's it. Okay, let's do a little bit of a test on our hamstring contractions here. So if you just lie flat on your back with your legs out, and you can put your hands under your lower back. So you just got your back in what would be said to be neutral. Don't really like that because our back is in a constant state of movement, there's no neutral, but this is what's understood to be neutral. Hand can fit under your lower back, and let's see if you can just bend your knees just a little bit like this. I want you to push your left heel down as hard as you can and feel hamstring and bum muscle contract. Then push your right heel down as hard as you can. Hamstring and bum muscle contracts, and just keep swapping from heel to heel. Don't let too much change, and you've still got this neutral spine. You can still breathe. You don't feel anything in your lower back. Keep pushing hamstring and bum muscle, going from one side to the other. As you go to one side softens, and then the other side softens, and the other side softens, and the other side softens. Keep breathing. And then pull the small of your back down. So you're going to flatten your back. Push one heel, then the other heel, one heel, and then the other heel. Keep driving down. Feel this hamstring and bum muscle work. Okay. And then I want you to come back to this neutral spine so you can fit your hand under your lower back. And then grab hold of this right hamstring. And keep this neutral spine. Get this thigh as close to your belly as you can. And straighten this leg up and back down. And keep neutral spine. So you're looking for your hamstring stretch under your own strength really. And then I want you to hold it up and see if you can earn it. Earn this. Keep earning it, making hip flexor work. Maybe show it. Put your hand against your knee. And show this hip flexor how to connect here. It's exhausting. Okay, let's try this other leg. So you grab hold of this thigh and you keep this little gap under your lower back so your hand could fit under your lower back. Coccyx still down. Pull this thigh as close to your belly as you can. And see, you can get this leg straight and hamstring stretch while earning this back position. Keep holding, back down, and back up, back down, back up. And then see if you can take your hands away and earn this. Show this hip flexor how to work. Yes. Amazing. And then coming back up. Let's back to our starting position, but we're not quite done yet with work. Still got one more little bit to check in with. So I want you to be able to move your lumbar spine while you're sat. So that means lengthening the muscles in the belly is extension, because you're contracting from the muscles in your back, and shortening and contracting the muscles in your belly to lengthen the lower back. Your coccyx should tilt down, tilt up, tilt down, tilt up, and your hips should be doing this. Your whole pelvis should be doing this. So you come back down and back up. And be able to breathe and move all this stuff in your lower back with no pain. If there's any pain, just do less. And it might even be just a little noodle around if there's pain, if you've got a sore back. But show it that there's healthy movement available to you. Then just do a little side bend, since we didn't do it earlier. Breathe. And bring your palms together. And thumbs to forehead. Tuck your chin and roll forwards. Namaste. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, let me know what you've got going on. We'll work it in. If there's something you want to work on, something you enjoy, something that you feel is your weak link, let's train it. So it's not the weak link anymore. Let's keep making you better. Natasha, fantastic work. That exploration of all of these poses is one of the biggest deals. It's so exciting for me. I've got loads of watchers today. That's so nice. Thank you so much, everyone. Amazing. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know what you've got going on. I've got Valentine's cocktails on the 13th of February. Let's do it. Let's do Valentine's cocktails. Come and tune in. There's a post coming out about it if there's not one out already. I've not seen it yet, but should be around. All right. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'll see you very soon. Bye, everyone. Cheers.